Ukraine's military says that it has destroyed 3 Russian surface-to-air missile systems in Russian-occupied Crimea. It's the second reported strike on air defenses on the peninsula this week. Ukraine says the strikes targeted a Russian S-300 system and 2 more advanced S-400 systems near Belbek military air base and Sevastopol. New arms deliveries from the U.S. are increasing Ukraine's ability to strike Russian targets further away. Analysts say it's only a matter of time before Kyiv might attack another vital target in Crimea, the bridge linking the occupied peninsula to the Russian mainland. Let's see how that might work and what that might mean for the conflict.
This video from Ukraine's military intelligence service allegedly shows sea drones attacking Russian ships off the coast of Crimea. Just a few attacks out of many in the past months on the peninsula, and the Russian naval forces docked there, including drone and missile strikes. Attacking the navy off Crimea makes it harder for Russia to blockade Ukrainian ports, and attacking land-based forces weakens Russia's ability to wage war on the Ukrainian mainland. Crimea has served as a Russian staging ground since 2014, when Russian forces illegally annexed the peninsula from Ukraine. The move led to international sanctions and isolated Russia from the West, but also allowed Russia to station tens of thousands of troops there, as well as tanks and troop carriers. Its Black Sea naval fleet was docked at the port of Sevastopol, and it serves as an airbase as well for bombing raids on Ukraine. For much of the war, the Kerch Strait bridge that connects Crimea to the Russian mainland was Russia's main military supply route for the peninsula, making it a prime target for Ukraine. The bridge has been attacked multiple times. An alleged truck bomb in 2022, as we see here, and again in 2023. Its status as a major target came back into focus in March of this year when German military personnel debated striking the bridge with a German-built Taurus missile. A recording of that conversation was leaked, creating a scandal. Until recently, Ukraine's Western backers forbade it to use long-range weaponry on Russian territory, but that has changed. Both the US and Germany have specifically authorized Kyiv to use their weapons to hit targets just inside the Russian border to defend the city of Kyiv in the northeast. New deliveries, including ATACMS missiles from the US, open up a whole new range of possible targets, however. ATACMS have a range of 300 kilometers, putting Crimea well within their sights. The Kerch Strait Bridge is a no-brainer target, and Russian military planners have built a new railway line to transport hardware overland to Crimea, possibly in anticipation of further attacks on the bridge. If Ukraine were to destroy the bridge, it would be a blow to Moscow's ability to supply its military, but its impact on public opinion in Russia would likely be greater. Annexing it from Ukraine to Russia has been a major point of pride for Russian President Vladimir Putin, part of what he sees as his historical legacy.
And for more now, I'm joined by military analyst Marina. Marina, it's good to see you again. Ukraine has successfully destroyed Russian surface-to-air systems in Crimea. That happened overnight. Do you see this as a sign that Ukraine could possibly be putting, looking at other targets? And I'm thinking of the bridge we just saw in that story. Could that bridge be targeted again?
Good evening, Brent. Well, what we have to understand here is at this juncture in the war, before Ukraine is going to get F-16s, Ukraine needs to make sure that they can operate with impunity, meaning that they are right now hunting Russian air defense systems. And we're seeing it not only in and around Crimea, we're seeing it across the northern border in Sumy and Kharkiv. So I think that targeting those air defenses is part of that strategy to basically make the skies safer for the F-16s that might then be deployed. Mm-hmm. And yes, the Kerch Bridge could be a potential target. However, given the shortage of long-range missiles, would it make sense for Ukraine to focus their entire efforts on the Kerch Bridge, which will be very difficult to destroy?
Difficult to destroy, but with these new U.S. weapons, these weapons, would they be the right ones? Could they, in theory, destroy the Kerch Bridge?
Well, in theory, what do we mean by destruction of the bridge? Would it destroy the upper layers of the bridge or take it out basically temporarily? Destruction beyond repair is something that I would consider as a complete destruction. And I don't think that Ukraine has that ability. Basically, what they can do is damage the upper layers of the bridge, but not the columns, meaning that these upper layers can be repaired. It's just a question of time. And in order to fully destroy it, I think a lot more firepower would be needed. And of course, we have to understand that the Russians are also reacting to that and erecting their own defenses to make sure that the bridge is very well protected, because it's a logistical supply route, aside from being a very symbolic construction, being Putin's own project.
The new approval by Germany and the United States when it comes to using their weapons to hit targets inside Russia, do you see that as possibly altering the course of this war?
Well, I have just mentioned that what I think is going to happen is that Ukraine will be trying to prepare the ground for the arrival of F-16s. And so the use of these weapons will essentially help the Ukrainian forces to take out Russian air defenses, also those located across the border in combined strikes. Because the problem that Ukraine has right now are the Su-34 jets that are dropping those glide bombs and which are essentially destroying Ukrainian infrastructure, Ukrainian air defenses. So for the F-16s to have a chance in the Ukrainian airspace, they need to make sure that Russian air defenses are taken out using the likes of HARM missiles, for instance, and then HIMARS, other camps and drones in order to destroy them. So what I think that Ukraine will focus on using these long-range capabilities is weakening Russian layered air defenses, which could make a difference. The campaign is just unfolding. We have to see how it progresses.
Okay, military analyst Marina Miron, we appreciate your time and your analysis tonight. Marina, thank you.
Thank you for having me.